They said Nadira was too beautiful to be real, and maybe they were right. Every man who looked at her saw perfection: smooth skin, lips red as palm wine, eyes that could melt the moonlight. But what they didn't know was that Nadira never slept without her makeup. She bathed with it. She even prayed with it. Not once, not ever, did anyone see her bare face. Some called it pride, others said it was madness. But when her new husband, Omar, locked their wedding room door that night, everything she had hidden for decades began to unravel. What he saw beneath that perfect face was not just age, but something far older, something cursed. So, what happens when the mask of beauty finally cracks? Stay with me. This story will chill you deeper than harmattan wind. Before we step inside Nadira's candlelit wedding room, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who believes beauty never fades. Every click helps us keep these haunting Nigerian folktales alive, full of mystery, wisdom, and heart. Ready? Then let's open the door together. But remember, once we step in, there's no turning back. They said Nadira could make a whole market stand still just by walking through it. Even the women who pretended not to stare could not help but glance again when she passed. Her beauty was not just seen, it was felt. It's like a soft perfume that lingered in the air long after she was gone. Men sent her flowers wrapped in bright paper. They wrote her letters, sweet like honey and heavy with promises. But Nadira never rushed. She watched every man carefully, like a hunter studying her prey. One man took her to winner, thinking his charm could melt her. That night, Nadira pretended to fall asleep, still wearing her makeup. When morning came, he laughed and said, "You don't need all that paint on your face. I want to see the real you." Nadira smiled politely. But inside, something in her heart turned cold. The moment he asked to see her bare face, he became just another stranger. She never called him again. Another suitor took her to the beach. He wanted to see her hair blow in the sea breeze. But when he playfully tried to pull her into the water, Nadira's smile froze. She pulled away and left him standing there, waves crashing at his feet. And so it went on, man after man, each eager to see the woman behind the mask. But Nadira had one rule, unshakable as stone. No one would ever see her without makeup. People in her town whispered, "Is she hiding scars? Maybe she's not even human," others joked. But Nadira never answered, because to her, makeup wasn't decoration, it was armor. Each brushstroke was a wall between her and the world. Her vanity table looked like a shrine, powders lined like soldiers, lipsticks shining like royal spears. Every morning, she sat before her mirror, whispering softly to her reflection, "This is me. This is who they love. If I lose this, I lose everything." She wore makeup to the market. She wore makeup to sleep. Even when she was sick, she asked for a mirror before anyone saw her. And over time, the world forgot what her natural face looked like. Even Nadira herself did. Her friends laughed and teased. One day Nadira will be buried with her foundation and eyeliner still on. Nadira would just smile and say nothing. But deep inside, her silence carried fear. For beneath her smooth, painted cheeks lived a secret that terrified her. Then one day a man named Omar came into her life. This was not like the others. He didn't flatter her with gifts or chase her with loud words. He was calm, the kind of calm that could quiet a storm. He didn't ask about her beauty. He asked about her dreams, about her mother, her favorite books, her childhood memories. When they walked through the gardens at dusk, he didn't reach for her face. He just held her hand gently, respectfully. And for the first time in years, Nadira felt safe. She thought at last, someone who won't ask what lies beneath the powder. Someone who loves me as I am, painted or not. Months passed. Their love grew quietly, like evening shadows stretching across a courtyard. People whispered again, but this time their voices carried admiration. Nadira has finally found peace. Omar must be the one, and perhaps they were right. Because when Omar finally asked her to marry him, Nadira didn't hesitate. She said yes, her voice trembling with both joy and fear. The wedding day came like a dream. The hall glowed with gold and laughter. Drums beat softly in the background, and every eye turned to Nadira. She looked like a goddess dressed in lace and light. Her skin shimmered under candle flames. Her lips curved in a smile so perfect it didn't look real. Omar couldn't stop staring. "You are more beautiful than a sunrise," he whispered. She laughed, a soft, fragile sound. If only he knew how fragile her beauty truly was. When the ceremony ended and the guests cheered, Nadira's heart beat faster. As they entered their new home, Omar's hand warm in hers, she felt something she hadn't felt in decades: fear, because behind every wedding door lies truth. And she had spent her whole life hiding from it. As the lock clicked softly behind them, her painted face glowed beneath the soft candlelight. She smiled, but her hands trembled. For Nadira knew once the door was closed, there would be nowhere left to hide. The room was quiet when Omar carried his bride inside. Candles flickered on the walls, and soft music still echoed from the wedding hall outside. Nadira laughed shyly as he closed the door behind them. It was their first night as husband and wife. Omar turned to her with eyes full of joy. "Finally, it's just us," he said. He lifted her gently in his arms and spun her around. She laughed again, but her laughter hid a storm. Every time he leaned closer, Nadira turned her face away. Every time his lips brushed her cheek, she moved slightly. She had done this her whole life, protecting the secret beneath the powder. But then it happened. Omar stepped backward and his foot caught the edge of the rug. He fell hard, his head striking the wooden bed frame. The sound cracked through the silence. Nadira gasped. "Omar!" she cried, dropping to her knees. His body was still, his eyes closed. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. Her hands shook as she pressed them against the wound on his head. "Please, Omar, wake up, please." And then, the first tear fell. It rolled down her cheek, cutting through the layers of powder like rain through dry dust. One tear became 2, then 10. Her foundation broke, her lipstick smeared. And slowly, painfully, the mask she had worn for decades began to melt. When Omar's eyes finally opened, the first thing he saw was not the woman he married, but a face he didn't recognize. Wrinkled, lined, fragile. He blinked hard. "Nadira, what? What happened to you?" Her heart stopped. She touched her cheek and felt the dry, cracked skin beneath. Her secret was out. Omar pulled himself up, staring at her in disbelief. You're not 25, he whispered. Nadira sobbed. "Please, Omar, listen to me. I can explain." He tried to step back, but his legs trembled. His hand reached for the door handle. "Who are you?" he breathed. Her voice broke. "I'm still me. I'm Nadira. I couldn't bear to be unloved again." And then, through her tears, she told him everything. She told him about the night many years ago, when a witch had found her crying by the river, heartbroken after a man left her for someone younger. The old woman had offered her a small jar of shimmering powder. "Wear it," the witch said, "and time will never touch you. Men will worship your face forever." And Nadira, foolish and desperate, had agreed. From that night onward, she stopped aging. Every man she loved grew old and died. Yet she stayed the same, beautiful, untouched, unchanging. "Until Omar, I wanted to stop," she cried. "But the witch warned me, if I ever cried for love, the powder would break, and time would take everything back." Omar's face turned pale. "Then, how old are you?" Nadira lowered her head. 100. Maybe more. The words hung heavy in the air. The candles flickered. Omar backed away slowly, fear and pity fighting inside his eyes. "This isn't real," he whispered. "You lied to me. You deceived me." Nadira crawled closer, clutching his arm. "Please, Omar, don't leave me. You are all I have." "I did it because I was afraid of being left alone again." But Omar shook his head, his voice breaking. "You've been alone for 100 years, Nadira. You were never free. You were only hiding." As he spoke, Nadira's body began to tremble. Her skin wrinkled deeper. Her hair thinned until gray strands fell to the floor. The powder that had once frozen time now faded with every tear she shed. "Omar," she whispered, her voice fading. "Don't go. Please." He stood frozen as she aged before him, first old, then frail, then almost translucent under the dim light. Finally, Nadira collapsed onto the floor. Her breath slowed. Her voice came one last time, soft as the whisper of wind through dry leaves. "I only wanted to be loved. I only wanted to never be alone." And with that, the last candle flickered out. Silence. Only the sound of the wind outside, as if the night itself mourned her. When the morning came, Omar sat beside her still body, staring at the cracked mirror. In it, he saw both beauty and tragedy, two faces of the same curse. Not all that shines is gold. Nadira's beauty was her prison. Her mask became her soul, and when the mask broke, so did everything she tried to protect. True love doesn't live in makeup, mirrors, or charm. Okay, it lives in truth, bare and honest, even when it's not perfect. If this story touched your heart or sent chills down your spine, don't just scroll away. Like, share, and subscribe to keep these forgotten Nigerian folktales alive. Stories that remind us who we are, where we come from, and why the truth always finds its way home. What do you think Nadira deserved, forgiveness or fate? Tell us in the comments below. Until next time, remember, beauty fades, but truth never dies.